When they lost to TSU in the first game, they got dominated in the paint. In the second game, they won 42-18. So they got to get the ball in the paint either by penetration or punching it into post. And lastly, 3 before D. They're first in the conference in threes made, but they have to play defense first, and they got to get the rebound so they can get out transition and shoot those threes.
Multiple rhyming concepts in their keys to the game. They're brought to you by Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Designate before you celebrate, because fans don't let fans drive drunk. And a stop for SEMO on their opening possession. And you mentioned they played twice in the regular season, split them. In Nashville, it was Tennessee State on their home floor by 11. In Cape Girardeau, it was an 18-point win for SEMO. So runaways in both for the home team, now on a neutral floor. And a look at the starting lineups for SEMO, with the first 3 going down for Nigel Russell. And those are brought to you by Legends Bank. The starting lineups, not the 3, brought to you by Legends Bank. Here's the look for Tennessee State. Fitzgerald, Nicholson, Johnson, Dupree, Cooper. They could all go get you 10 plus. In the case of Dupree down in the post, he got him 6 blocks last night, a career high. And there's Nicholson way off, wide of the window there. And SEMO bringing it back into the front court. So the Red Hawks were here a year ago as the 7 seed after they were picked last. This year picked 4th, finished 4th. And a little bit of muckiness to begin this one.
Yeah, there's some nerves out there, especially on the SEMO side, but they're coming out playing impressive defense. That's very important for them. They give up 77 points a game. And so if they can play defense, they do have the offensive power to overcome you. So if they come out and play strong and slow Tennessee State down from the start, it puts them in a very good position to win the game.
Well, Tennessee State got off to that high-flying start last night. 31-12 was an early lead for them. A lot of that hedged on their defense, too. Held SIUE to a 1-for-18 shooting start in the win last night. Right now, cold start for them. Fitzgerald short.
Yeah, that's 2 ill-advised threes. Nicholson shot one that didn't hit the rim. That one was a tough shot. I think they need to move the ball. Like I said, go with the flow, stay in rhythm. Don't try to do too much and let the game come to yourself.
And Dylan Branson couldn't track that one down. And for Southeast Missouri State, the Red Hawks were so close to another big win coming out of the final weekend of the regular season. Fell 2 points short to Murray State. Almost knocked the Racers off their undefeated ledger. And they're getting the ball back now. So when we talked to Brad Korn, the head coach for SEMO, the other night, he said, we feel okay about that. We're not interested in feeling like that was a win, but you're absolutely right. We're playing our best basketball right now.
Yeah, they really turned it up down the stretch. And I like his mentality. There are no moral victories. You want to win every game, and that's the mentality that he's creating there. That's the culture that he's creating. And these guys are coming out ready to play right now.
Nigel Russell, same spot, 2 times over, a 3 from the right wing. So 6-0 jump off of the Russell threes. A guy that gets it done with his rebounding. Top rebounder, also stepping out and shooting. And there's Dupree. He's out away from the basket. And nothing doing for Tennessee State. They've missed their first 3 shots.
All threes.
And there's Reed. He bags one.
Play a major factor in here, and who can defend the 3-point line is going to have the advantage in winning this game.
And Kenny Cooper at the controls for Tennessee State. Off that 15-point win last night. And a travel. Don't even get a shot up this time. And even after the timeout, Tennessee State doesn't have it together quite yet.
Again, that's good defense by SEMO. Tennessee State came out with the ATO after timeout, wanted to get the ball in the post. Dylan Branson was contesting the post with all of his strength. Didn't allow the easy entry pass, which forced the turnover.
Well, Branson had the defense one way, and the first bucket inside for SEMO on their 11-0 jump. And Branson gives them some shooting off the bench. Has struggled with his outside shot lately, and Patterson destroys that ball out of bounds.
In the game for Tennessee State, number 2, Carlos Marshall.
Here's getting to the basket. Thought he had something. I think he slipped and fell, and Patterson was still there saying, no, sir, not in my paint.
It's the and one version of a block. Get your legs taken out. Still make the play. Fitzgerald cut off by Reed. This will be fun tonight. Fitzgerald and Reed, both guys can score it. Both guys get down and defend. And Fitzgerald's working to get his touches right now. Here they are, one-on-one. Reed with the hand in his face. And another one that doesn't even draw iron.
Well, it's going to be a long night if Tennessee State keeps settling for threes right now.
There's Russell, protected it. And you see the split in the regular season, double-digit wins for the home teams. Those are brought to you by Delta Dental, the series history. Unleash your smile power with Delta Dental. So cold start for Tennessee State. We talked about maybe riding the wave of last night into this after win last night, and they have not done that yet.
You're exactly right. They have not kept the momentum that I anticipated. It's still very early. It's still very early, but they do need a bucket right now to kind of get that lid off the rim for them.
There's Brian Penny-Collins. Nice moment in the post-game press conference last night. UT Martin, former head coach, the late head coach Anthony Stewart, who passed away last year. He said he dedicated that win to the Stewart family last night. And his words were, you know, sometimes you lose somebody, you forget about him. We're not forgetting about Anthony Stewart, a great friend, great coach in this league, in the OVC, and great words, touching words from Penny-Collins last night after the win.
Definitely, you always love to see when people pay respect to those that they, have a lot of respect for.
So the OVC, nice moment there for Stewart, and Manny Patterson doing his best to take down the rims like Johnson was last night.
Wow, this is, like I said, as a SEMO fan, as a coach, this is the type of start you want. I mean, these guys are getting, look at them, down on defense, focused in on fighting over the screens.
And a foul on Russell. Here you go.
Comes with authority. You heard the rim rattle. You heard him yell. That's what college basketball. This must be March when you see things like that.
Hit him with the. That's what you said. Well, Patterson's got the rebound, strips back away, and Marshall inside travels. And Tennessee State still with nothing doing. So it's an 0 for 7 start. And a couple of turnovers mixed into that too. Empty trip after empty trip.
Coach Penny trying to shake things up, going with the zone, maybe just trying something different than what they were doing.
And SEMO came out shooting the 3 hot. Went to the zone, got a miss with Russell, and the tip back finally gets the seal off of it for Tennessee State. And it is Nicholson, the first on the board.
They needed that, kind of get the lid off the rim. Maybe that'll do something to loosen them up, and they can get back in rhythm.
Branson, long 2. And Acosta and Nicholson come together, and Nicholson has the score on the board. Marshall turning a corner. Cooper trying to get past Russell, and resistance there with both Philip Russell and Nigel Russell coming together. Short corner Branson, and travel.
One thing we have to take a look at early on is yesterday the refs were letting them play, especially on the penetrations. They were really allowing you to wall up and put your chest into the defender as they were shooting. We just saw that right there. Cooper was extremely frustrated. We talked about it yesterday. There's no sense in getting frustrated. You read the refs in the first 5 to 8 minutes of the game. You see how they're calling it, and then you play that same way on the defensive end, and you have to adjust how you're doing on offense. Complaining is not going to get anything done for you.
So what's your read? How do you play it tonight with what we've seen in the first
You're aggressive.
6 minutes?
You go through the guy's chest, and you force the ref to call a foul, or you punish your defender. Not in a dirty way. You just make sure that the ref is forced to call the contact to where it cannot be a dispute as to what's going on.
We'll reach for the lights, right?
You have to do it.
Miss from Reed after the rim is opened up for Tennessee State. Last couple of trips down. And Fitzgerald getting that last one up. And here he is again, falling away and nailing it. Marcus Fitzgerald. Gotten going again late in the season. Had the foul trouble in the first half last night. Still got his way to 10 points.
Yeah, he's a bucket getter. He can create for himself. He can create for others. He can shoot off the dribble. And right now, you need guys like that. When your offense is stagnant, what do when you can't get, when your play doesn't work? You give the ball to somebody who can create it for themselves. And that's exactly what Marcus Fitzgerald just did.
Seeing some of the rim karma turned around. Now it's opened up for Tennessee State. And nothing going for SEMO. Well, second chance, though. Punched back out by Thompson. And a numbers advantage after the gamble for Tennessee State. And a third try, no. And Nicholson reels it in for Tennessee State.
Wow, SEMO had 3 chances at easy layups right there.
Sam Thompson off the bench, getting early clock, checking Dupree. And no deflection there. Fitzgerald wanted it, won't get it.
I'm really impressed with how well SEMO guards are moving their feet. They're not just allowing the guy to go by them. They're not conceding any space. They're cutting off the driving lanes, which is making it harder passes, and we've seen a couple turnovers because of that.
There's Chris Harris. And tried to shove it down into Sam Thompson. It's out of bounds. Chris Harris came into this tournament last year, didn't have a ton of help around him, but they added Philip Russell, of course, and he hasn't had to carry as much of the load as he did a year ago in this tournament.
Yeah, Eric Reed is a first-team all-conference player. Philip Russell, as you mentioned, came in and has just been a dynamic freshman, and it's shown that they have multiple scoring threats.
Well, they had Reed last year, but a scoring point guard like Russell loosened things up. That's taken away. Nana Kenton with the swipe and the follow. Running the floor, can't finish the dunk. And we got a technical. Kenton hanging on the rim.
We saw that happen yesterday, and I'm not sure why players do that right now. If someone's up under you, I totally get it. But right here, he could let go. He looked like he was at the playground as a little kid playing around on the monkey bars right there. I mean, you got to let go of the rim. That's an easy call. You don't want to give. You have the momentum right now. Momentum's on your side. So you don't want to do anything that can flip that. And so right now, Tennessee State gets to go to the line, possibly get an easy bucket, come back and score, and now they're right back in this game.
And last night it was Shaquem Johnson hanging after the put-back dunk.
At the line for Tennessee State,
Kenton up there swinging. By the way, Fitzgerald got bopped after this. Thompson came over and I think went head-to-head with Fitzgerald. It's all right to shoot the tech free throw. So 13-0 run followed by a 7-0 run to start this game. The first 4 minutes belong to SEMO. Next 4 minutes have gone Tennessee State's way. Nice methodical 7-0 run.
Well, it's turnovers. Well, Tennessee State has 6 turnovers already. They only have 3 buckets, and they have 6 turnovers. It's hard to score. It's hard to win when you got more turnovers than baskets.
Shot missed there. Dupree tracking it off of the rim, but SEMO away with it. So Reed, variety scorer for SEMO. Final 4 games for SEMO. Reed scored 23 points per game. He's upped it in a big way.
They're just getting out hustled right now. SEMO is the more aggressive team. They're using their body on the penetration, and therefore that's why you see them up 13-7.
And SEMO's gone through a drought since that 13-0 start. Turnover leads to a Cooper layup, and it is punched around and out for Shaquem Johnson. Those were plays we saw him pack them in and pack one down last night. Saw it from the highlights. Easy on the eyes, hard on the rims, hard on the mics.
You know, but that's what you want to see right there. You want to see 2 guys up around the rim competing for the offensive rebound. It didn't bounce their way, but if they continue to be active around the rim like that, they'll get right back into this ball game.
And Kenton, clank. And Kenton last year, there was a point in the game against Morehead State in the first round. SEMO went on an 8-0 run and were right with the team that ended up winning the championship. And Kenton had 2 big threes here at the Ford Center, right from that same spot where he missed that shot. And Tennessee State turns it back over. It was kind of dysfunctional from the beginning. They had Cooper back behind the play, tying his shoe. Never really got organized. So Penny Collins and Tennessee State, they're trying to get back to the semifinals, first time since 2013. SEMO hasn't been since 2005. We're talking almost 2 decades for the Red Hawks.
Wow. You know, if you're Tennessee State, you got down 11-0 very early on. And they've only, and SEMO's, they've only been able to score 2 points since.
Now look out in the open floor here. And a foul shot coming, or 2 foul shots coming for Nicholson. This was Nicholas on Nicholson. DQ Nicholas gets the foul. Yeah, your point. SEMO came out.
SEMO came out of 11-0. It was at the 16-minute mark. We're now at the 10-minute mark. SEMO only has 13. So if you're Tennessee State, this is what you want to do. You want to just grind it out. When you get down 11, 13 points, coaches always say there are no 11-point shots, right? You just have to grind it out. Possession by possession, get stops, get scores, and that's what they've done. They need to make these free throws, but as long as they keep up this defensive intensity, this is going to be a tight ball game.
Look at Brad Korn. He's an offensive guy. Learned under Bruce Weber at Kansas State. He was with Paul Lusk for a little bit at Missouri State before that. He's very good mentors in the industry, very bright offensive minds. And his team has missed 12 straight shots now, and Kenton makes it 13, and finally volleyballed out to Russell. Patterson trying to get him an easy one, and nothing coming easy. He gets roped down, and then is headed to the free throw line.
Well, yesterday we talked a lot about 50-50 balls, being able to determine who's hustling the most. Right here, you see a hard foul right there, but you can tell who has the rhythm, who's been the aggressor by 50-50 balls and offensive rebounds. And right now, SEMO is getting every offensive rebound, every loose ball, and that's why you see them at the line right now.
Check out that number, though, that split.
Wow.
0 for 13 since the 5 of 6 start. SEMO still leading Penny Collins and Tennessee State by 7. How about the stretch run for Manny Patterson, though? Final 5 games of the regular season, 15 points per, double of his season average. And the second of his 2, and rattled down. So dunk, couple of free throws for Patterson. And a couple of 20-point games to kick off that stretch where he elevated his play, and Brad Korn said that his success parallel with SEMO's success. They played well down the stretch, so did he. Did the same thing last year. SEMO came into the tournament playing well. Dupree backing his way in. Patterson gives no ground, and the defense behind him there to pick him up. Patterson
is being a man down there on the offensive end, on the offensive glass, and right there, he's, like you said, he's not giving any ground. Strong wall up and force the turnover.
And a drive for Harris goes away from Patterson, and a whistle on Tennessee State.
Balance on Tennessee State's #1, Marcus Fitzgerald. That is his first team foul.
So that's 1 foul on Fitzgerald. Got to watch that again. Remember, he got the 2 personals and had to go to the bench in the first half last night. The first one comes a little bit past the halfway point of this first. And good on the first for Chris Harris. And good scorer now for Brad Korn, Chris Harris. He's been a scorer everywhere he's been. D2 at Missouri S&T, in junior college at John A. Logan, and now for a couple years running at SEMO too. And go get you double-figure points.
Yep, 10 points a game, third leading scorer on this team. Very valuable part of this team.
And so Harris makes it a 10-point game again for SEMO. And back out to Fitzgerald here. DQ Nicholas extending that defense all the way out to the hash. Here's Marshall off a shot fake, and that rolls down to a Kenton getting up. And Russell pushing it inside. Patterson finally got a field goal for SEMO. Well, they had missed 13 in a row. They go back to Patterson, and he's headed for a chance to get 5 in a row individually.
Philip Russell getting to the paint, forcing the defense to help. Great bounce pass and dish off right there for Patterson, finishing through contact, going to the line for the N1.
He just tagged a second one on Dupree, too.
You know, Tennessee State, I think yesterday they were just allowed to go through SIU. SIU was not giving them much resistance, so they were turning around and literally going through the defender. SEMO right now, they're doing a great job of walling up. And for those out there who don't know what walling up is, we talked about this yesterday. You put your chest out, you almost form like an H, and then you use your chest. You have to be in the weight room to be able to do this. But watch next time they throw the ball in the post, how they get their high hands and really just use their body to keep Tennessee State from being able to get to the basket.
They're cleaning up the glass right now, too. Walling up, cleaning up the glass. SEMO +6, and Patterson slicing inside the paint right now. People go to the opera.
I don't know about that.
Not you?
Nah, not I.
No? We'll take you to the opera here in Evansville sometime. Next year's tournament. Well, the game has been dictated by runs. 13-0 run, 7-0 run, 8-0 run. And that 8-0 run is no more. It's a 2-0 run for Kenny Cooper and Tennessee State.
Did a good job of staying under control, using his pivot foot, stepping through the defense, getting it up off the glass with an and one.
Well, we roll you a Philip Russell package, and Philip Russell now has to go to the bench with foul trouble. Just got a second.
That's big. That's big for SEMO, because even though he hasn't been scoring, he's been creating for others, and he's been able to, like we just showed, the defense is respecting him so much because of what he can do and his shooting ability, that he was been able to create for the big. Will this new guy, will Nicholas be able to come in and do what Russell was doing?
Nicholas is an improved outside shooter. He's been mostly a slasher his entire career. And he creates for the three that's too strong for Nigel Russell. And Tennessee State will try to build on that lead after Cooper got him off the drought, and Cooper runs right into danger. Now he's behind the play. 5-on-4 here for SEMO. Russell gives up Patterson. Spins his way into the defense, and Harris out for a three. And it's Fitzgerald out of there with it.
Well, Tennessee State is 4 for 18 from the field right now, only 22%. But even more troubling is the 9 turnovers. You know, you would rather get it up off the rim with all their athletes. It gives you an opportunity to at least get the offensive rebound. Turning the ball over without getting up off the rim is really hurting them right now.
And some of them have just been passes to nobody.
It's been passes because, again, SEMO is playing so physical with them and using the chest, and they're showing the ref their hands. So the ref can't, and they're not calling these calls, and Tennessee's getting really frustrated with that.
That is a foul before the travel. And Nicholson applying the pressure.
Tennessee State, that is. I don't want to offend any volunteer fans out there. Yeah,
or any Tigers fans.
I get it.
In the game for Southeast Missouri, number 33,
Dylan Branson checking back in. So Nigel Russell just got his second foul. Philip Russell just went to the bench with 2. Now Nigel Russell has 2. Foul trouble for Tennessee State. Jalen Dupree, a good rim protector after his 6 blocks last night. And before the ball's inbounded, SEMO's getting it back on an offensive foul. So they got Nicholson. Now 10 Tennessee State turnovers helped out Brad Korn and SEMO. Do we have this official number? Brad Korn, is he the tallest coach in the OVC?
I would take the over on that.
Yeah, I think he is. And catch and fire for Harris. Back rim, rebound Cooper. And he's got his eyes up, looking for runners. And pull it back out for now. Oh, Nicholas jumps in front. 2-on-1, Branson running with them, and got that partially deflected by Cooper back in the play. And Marshall straight to the rim. So Tennessee State with Marshall. Had Branson behind the play, and Tennessee State now with a couple baskets in a row. And Branson backing his way and scored in here earlier. And we've got a technical on the Tennessee State sideline. Penny Collins was calling for a travel on Branson, and now his staff's holding him back. Just got teed up.
Technical foul on Tennessee State's head coach.
And Carlos Marshall going over, giving Penny Collins a hug, saying, I got you.
At the line for Southeast Missouri, Eric Reed.
It looked like he kept his pivot foot. To me, it didn't look like a travel. But emotions are high, and they should be. You've worked your butts off this whole season. You get a win yesterday after Tennessee State. You got some momentum going. You're thinking, okay, we can get this thing going. We can get to the championship game and give ourselves to play in the big dance. Everybody wants, when I was growing up, I used to want to see myself, one of my goals in college was I wanted to see myself in one shining moment. Everybody wants that, right? And so now you feel that slipping away, and Coach Collins right now is just really animated, and maybe he did that intentionally to try to get a spark out of his team.
Was the thought our truck was saying that maybe they were looking at 3 seconds, but
nah, I didn't see it.
I think it was more about the travel, right?
Yeah, I think it was more about the travel.
And either way, upset, got teed up, leads to 2 more for SEMO, and it has been hard going for SEMO down on that end right now, and back into the play with Marshall. And it was Harris stripping it, going one-on-one with him. And Reed, little jump stop and high off glass, and a look for Marshall still down by the stanchion for Tennessee State. And after Harris had gotten back in that play and stripped him on the fast break.
In the game for Tennessee State, number 20, Derek Boyd, replacing Carlos Marshall.
Looks like maybe it's a hand injury, how he fell.
In the game for Southeast Missouri, number 20, Sam Thompson, replacing Manny Patterson.
He's looking back at the refs, wondering where the foul was.
Yeah. He definitely gave the ref an aggressive look right there. That looked fairly clean to me. I
don't even think fairly. I think certainly.
Yeah.
He had the tape on his hands. Yeah, yesterday he had the tape on his hand. Remember we showed it when he was going to the free throw line. Yep. Had it double taped. That was on his left hand. Still has it taped tonight. Now looking at his right hand. So Marshall, a little upset going to the bench. Thought he was hacked. Replay showed it was clean. Second chance here, Tennessee State. Fitzgerald, quick whirl, ball fake underneath in the spin.
Fitzgerald's playing very well for them right now. As we mentioned before, he's one of the guys that can really create for himself. They're trying to run plays. It's not working for him. And so Fitzgerald he's in his element when you just say, hey, give me the ball, I can get you a bucket.
He did about 3 things on that last trip that were impressive, and that's just straight up jump shooting from the mid-range for Fitzgerald.
Yeah, Fitzgerald's one of those guys you pick. If you're on the playground, you pick him because he can get you a bucket. He doesn't need a pick and roll. He doesn't need to come off a double staggered. Just give him the ball and watch him work. And that's what they need right now because none of their plays and sets are working. SEMO's executing their scout to perfection.
And doing it against SEMO again. And Fitzgerald was in on that foul on the drive from Nicholas. That would be his second. How about this one? A little euro, a little spin, no rim needed.
With the nice euro step, then coming off the pick and roll. Big man was on the low lateral. He said, I'll stop and pop. Knocked it down. Feeling pretty good about himself, as well he should.
SEMO hates trying to guard him. Scored 23. His best game of the season was against these guys. Scored 23 against SEMO in the regular season. But back-to-back nights that he's got 2 first-half fouls.
Fitzgerald right now has 9 of their 16. All right, he has 4. They have 7 buckets. He has 4 of them. So he's single-handedly pretty much keeping them in this game right now. He needs to stay hot the rest of this half. They need to box out.
That's probably why you see him staying in with the 2 fouls. Nicholas told you he's improved out there, and he strokes one down for the Red Hawks. Nicholas, early in his career, he was drive, get to the free throw line. He's turned into a very good 3-point shooter when he takes him. 45% from out there, DQ Nicholas.
You know, this 3 came off of a second chance opportunity. When you don't box out, oftentimes the defense ends up in a scramble. That's exactly what happened. He was left wide open, and he knocked it down and made him pay for it.
Nicholas had a game against Tennessee State early in his career where he went to the free throw line 19 times in one game. And he's got some more outside touch. And Simo gets a miss from Johnson. Just ahead of the under 4. There's Nicholas. Ooh, air ball. Conference too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a national vote. I am in the media, but, you know, I think obviously Greg Gard has done a heck of a job. You got Cooley over at Providence. My favorite is Coach Lloyd at Arizona. But right there with all of them is Coach McMahon at Murray State.
And tip back for Shaquem Johnson. Yeah, so Murray gets the winner of this game tomorrow. He was the coach of the year in this league with Murray going undefeated. I saw your list, putting it out on Twitter. He was on there.
Yeah, I mean, you got to reward the little guys. And like you said, I was disappointed with them going from 19.
And Fitzgerald going to the free throw line.
They were ranked 19, annihilated Belmont, and then dropped to 22, which shows sometimes the disrespect that the mid-majors get sometimes. But this guy can flat out coach. They're one of the top 20, 25 teams in the country, and I would love to see him get Coach of the Year, or if not, at least some votes and some recognition for the job that he's done.
At the line for Tennessee State, Marcus Fitzgerald.
He was loose coming here too, hanging out in the dining hall today, sitting down with us commoners, eating dinner. Before his team plays tomorrow night against the winner of this game. You know, the 22nd team in the country, 23rd in the net. Seem to be a lock for the NCAA tournament. Now a matter of will the OVC have another team that joins Murray State at 28-2, 18-0 in the league.
Again, I mean, I went to University of Evansville. I think we got good education. When you see that they're ranked number 22, and there's 4 brackets, that lets you know they should be a 6 seed. Somewhere between 5 and 6. How are they projected to be number 9? 9 times 4 in my book is 36. There's not a top 36, but they're ranked. Again, that's just disrespectful. They're one of the top 25 teams in the country. They should be a 6 seed at the worst if they win this conference.
They're bringing it. I love it. I love it. You know, Murray State, even when they've been a lower seed, a 12 seed, they've been dangerous coming out of this league. But they'll be much higher than that, no matter what happens this week.
Definitely. And if they were a 12 seed, whoever that 5 seed they play would be extremely upset to be drawing them. But no, there's no way they drop that far.
I'm not saying they're going to do that. I'm just saying,
right.
No matter the seed, they've won NCAA tournament games.
Definitely. They're a team that can win a game of the tournament. I don't care who they play against. I don't care what the name of the jersey is. They're Power 5, Big East. When you're coached well, you have senior leadership, you have athleticism and can defend, and you have strength. When you all see Murray State out there, like I said yesterday, their strength and conditioning coach needs a raise. Those dudes are strong, right? And so then they match up physically with Power 5 teams, and usually that's what happens in the NCAA tournament. A Power 5 team just overwhelms you with their size, strength, and athleticism. That's not going to happen to Murray State.
What's so intriguing about this game, the chance to get to go and see the undefeated Racers if you win it. And that's an offensive foul on Marshall, who's back in after he was banged up.
Well, I didn't think that was a charge, but what I did think, let me just see right here, that could have been a charge. He did drop the shoulder. It could have been a block as well because they were both moving. But one thing I know, when you mean mug a referee for 10 seconds, the human factor, you know, it comes in there. And that was the same ref that he gave the death stare to for 10 seconds after he went down. So I don't think that's coincidence.
The death stare and the ability to ignore that mean mug was pretty impressive by the referee too.
Well, he's always going to have the last word. He might not say anything at the moment, but he's the one with the whistle in his mouth.
Brad Korn craning his neck over an offensive foul. And it went against Patterson. So Marshall won for Tennessee State, Patterson won for SEMO. And back in the hands of the Tigers with 2.5 to go until the break. SEMO's led throughout. There's Dedrick Boyd, step back, down to Harris. SEMO got out to the 13-0 start. And Patterson got clubbed down again in the paint. And this is going against Shaquem Johnson.
Tennessee State's number 14, Shaquem Johnson, that is his second.
We got some foul trouble with the bigs for Tennessee State. Dupree's been out the last 7-8 minutes. And now Johnson just got his second foul.
the line, Manny Patterson.
You know, usually the more aggressive team, it doesn't seem like it should be this way, but usually the more aggressive team gets the benefit of the doubt on the calls because they're the ones blasting through screens. They're boxing out. They're posting strong. And the ref can't call everything, right? So then they just start calling less. And then, therefore, they get the momentum and they start getting the benefit of the doubt on those calls. And that's what you're seeing happen in this first half.
Which seems like the reverse of the obvious.
It's like that old VCU when Shaka Smart was there. Those guys smacked your wrist every time down court. The ref can't call it every time, so they just start letting stuff go.
Following 5 times is greater than 1 time. Patterson walling up on Cooper. And Nicholas, foot on the gas, and it clears out for him using the left. So back to the point it was on the 13-0 run to start the game for SEMO. Red Hawks trying to get to that first semifinal since 2005. They've gone to the NCAA tournament just 1 time in their program history. That was 2000. And short corner, 9 to shoot. And Cooper corrals a high pass. Marshall. Oh, it wasn't that late in the clock. What was that?
Wow.
So SEMO gets a free trip down with Reed. Patterson cleans it up, and he gets hacked. What was Marshall doing?
I guess he lost track of time on the shot clock. He must have thought it was down to like 2 or 1, but there was 5 seconds. He had the opportunity to get all the way to the basket from there.
Yeah, he's saying my bad.
Yeah.
The SEMO bench counting him down, maybe? He had a good 4 or 5 seconds left in the clock when he put up a one-hander.
He chucked that up with 5 seconds to go, which gives you plenty of time to dribble, combo, move, do a crossover, get to the basket, draw a foul.
So Patterson back for his 6th and 7th free throws of this first half. He's moving toward another double-double night. 10 points, 7 rebounds already.
We were talking about this at the break. You know, Tennessee State beat SEMO that first game. Patterson didn't play. And then the second game, SEMO beat Tennessee pretty convincingly by 20. And now he's playing again, and they're up 15. You know, he's the X factor for this team. He doesn't, you know, he's not the leading scorer, but the way he defends down there, the way he finishes around the basket, the way he plays the pick and roll, he knows the scout. He does a lot of things that the average fan doesn't see, but he adds tremendous value to this team.
We've seen him wall up like you've been talking about.
Yep.
Let's see what he does here on Johnson. Took it on the chest.
Look at that.
4 to shoot.
Hands up in the H, took it on the chest. The guy's been in the weight room. You see his chest is strong. And then it forced an ill-advised pass along the baseline. Now they're getting the ball back with 4 seconds to go on the shot clock. Got to force something up.
Well, Marshall late in the clock again. This time has the recognition. Got a good look, but rolls off. Shaking his head as he goes back on D. What do you think Patterson, the NFL Combines this week? I want to know, 225, you put the plates on. What's Patterson giving you? How many reps?
The kid looks strong, man. He's probably giving you 20, 25 reps. He's one of those guys that if basketball doesn't work out, he could be the next Antonio Gates, one of those guys being an excellent tight end.
Oh, after it again, Patterson. With those 15 to 20 reps on the 225. Free throw line again.
On the drive, probably should have made it, but the man of the hour, Mr. Patterson, cleaning up the glass, going up strong, finding himself back at the free throw line. 11 points, 9 rebounds already in this first half. Almost a double-double in the first half. Impressive.
Well, as fun as it's been for him, it's been equally no fun for Carlos Marshall. 3 fouls now, 1 of 6 from the floor. And he got trampled into the stanchion under the basket, too.
Yeah, Patterson's making it hard on these guys. And Tennessee State was flying around here like the Harlem Globetrotters the other day. They weren't getting this type of resistance, and now they're meeting this resistance, and it's eliminated the athleticism. If you watch this Tennessee State team in warm-ups, my God, several of them could be in the NBA dunk contest. Johnson, Nicholas, and Nicholson. But when you got somebody strong putting a chest and forearm into you, it eliminates that athleticism, and that's what we've seen here.
The lane violation, so we'll rack it up again with Patterson. Was there something in the subconscious for you about the red, white, and blue jerseys that took you to the Harlem Globetrotters?
It must have been.
I think that might be part of it. Not that I'm inside your mind, but and Patterson uses that extra free throw, cashes in one more time. So close to that double-double before halftime with 12 and 9. And final couple of ticks here before the locker room. Fitzgerald got to get one up, 2 to go. Shaken. Kenton holds his own, and Sebo
at a time. But what you can't do is come out here and start jacking up threes.
So the second half begins with the semifinals on the line. 16-point lead for Sebo through the first 20 minutes with Murray State waiting. Tomorrow night coming up on ESPNU. Branson, extra pass, Patterson, and off the window, no. Reaches and gets it back, and a recycle for Semo. And Branson slides it along the baseline, got another open shot. And Semo nothing doing first trip down. And Patterson with that offensive rebound, wasting no time getting his double-double. And a foul. Fitzgerald just rolled the pack on him. What he did in the first half, those 11 points. And pressure on Semo's defense to begin it.
Yeah, the first 2 plays is still indicative of what happened in the first half. Manny Patterson was the man down there. They got every 50-50 ball. And on this end, Fitzgerald was the one that's trying to create and get to the basket. So right now, we're just seeing a continuation of the first half.
And Fitzgerald also sprayed it around a little bit. A couple assists, had a rebound. And Tennessee State hoping it's not a 5-minute stretch again without a basket like the first half began. Got Dupree back in there after first half foul trouble. And first trip down, first basket.
That was the first time I've seen Tennessee State match their physicality in the post. Patterson did a good job of walling up and not giving up his ground, but they just went through the wall up and scored with the strength right there. That's what they need to do.
Well, thanks for not punching me back when we exhibited that on our on-camera, by the way. Very well could have. Well, Dupree had the first basket. He's got the rebound, too. And he was big last night. There was not much going in the paint for SIUE when Dupree was anchored down there. And now he's outside. And no for Jalen Dupree. Ripped out of there by Reed. Patterson going at him. Back outside, Russell. Loves that wing. Not here.
Every loose ball, Semo's getting it.
And Branson's been in there to do that. Screen, get loose balls. Slip, hit the occasional three. Here's Patterson, and he got another one inside.
Wow. You know, this is you have to be disappointed if you're Coach Penny Collins. Dylan Branson, he's a starter. I respect his game. He's from St. Louis. He might be the most, he's the most unathletic player on the court. But how many loose balls has he got? That's all heart. That's all heart and determination.
I like so many things about that analysis. What you just gave on Branson. There he is. He follows it up.
Every loose ball, offensive rebounds. Got up about 4 inches off the ground right there. But he's working, and he's just outworking his opponent.
So if he weren't from St. Louis, would there just be straight disrespect?
No. I respect anybody that plays like he does. Every team needs somebody like that is going to never have no quit and then just out hustle their opponent.
You can see Nicholson pulling up, knocking it down. And the second field goal in this game. Also a big-time rebounder for them. 6 boards in this game. Patterson's got position again on the low block. Back out for Russell. And a three, just like he started the game. So Semo, last time they were here playing Morehead State, they were clawing, just trying to stay in touch. Now it's Tennessee State chasing them in this opening game. And Kenny Cooper steadies it for Tennessee State.
Kenny Cooper's a 45% three-point shooter. So if you give that to him, he's going to knock it down. His team needs to find him for some more open looks like that.
Number 21, Kenny Cooper, that's his first.
In, back out, splash.
So again, we talk about the scout. We talk about the scout for Semo, and that's one of the reasons Shaquem Johnson is coming out right now. I saw his coach say something to him. There's no need to double. I don't think that the scout was to double Patterson, but he went in there, not even an aggressive double. He went in there very lackadaisical, very easy pass out, and Russell was able to get into a rhythm jump shot for 3. That's all. That's all part of the scout that you're not seeing Tennessee State execute very well. This guy right here is doing a lot of execution.
And speeds his way to the rim, stealing the score for Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald swipes it from Branson. Fitzgerald back-to-back transition layups.
The one guy for Tennessee State that seems to be matching the energy of SEMO is Marcus Fitzgerald. And he's shining out here. It's clear that he's on another level.
Well, they trusted him to stay in with 2 fouls in the first half. Russell, nice give up. Patterson on the back end.
SEMO's playing great basketball right now. Unselfish basketball. When they're wide open for the 3, they take it. When they're not, they shot fake. They get to the basket. They're unselfish. Love to see good execution and unselfish basketball like this.
Fitzgerald was thinking about it and gave it up instead, and a miss for Nicholson. Here's Nicholas. He's got Fitzgerald riding right with them. Branson sweeping through. Oh, ball buzzing around for SEMO, and this trip down, beautiful basketball. Reed with a 3.
First team all-conference, Eric Reed right there. How do you leave a first team all-conference player that open right there? Again, SEMO's playing great. Tennessee's not playing well, and that's an 18-point difference in the ball game.
Touch everybody's hands? Maybe everybody but Patterson.
Just about. I mean, when Dylan Branson drives to the basket, he's not looking to score. So while you collapse on him, it's not like he's going to finish above the rim. You just stay with him, and you stay attached to your man, and don't give up a wide-open shot to either of the Russells or Reed. But somehow he keeps getting to the basket and creating shots for others.
Oh, Nicholas!
Yeah, when you have an over-under, anytime you have a positive over-under, that's a good thing. You rarely see an over-under at 28 points. That means when he's on the court, they're scoring, and you're not.
You got the gambling lingo going on us with the over-under. Carlos Marshall head-down drive. I wanted to go back to something he said at halftime about the boxing term. You know, everybody's got a plan until you get hit. What if you're the rim? You can't fight back when Patterson's just bringing the pain.
You got to sit there and take it. You got to sit there and take it, because Patterson is definitely he punished the rim in the first half, but he just made a lot of great IQ plays as well. You know, I love to see that, not just relying on his athleticism, but his athleticism, his unselfishness, you know, and executing the scout to perfection.
Dedrick Boyd catching fire, grazes the rim. Boyd had that 3 early in the game last night. It's been cold since then from outside. And Boyd in this game 0 for 2. His shots have been limited. And Nicholas just had that nice hesitation going to break. Now to the crossover. It's cut off, but creating a tournament that year. A lot of people know the name Stromile Swift. Played in the NBA. LSU. He was on that LSU team that SEMO nearly beat in the first round after they won it in 2000.
Stromile Swift was a lottery pick. He was so athletic and such a dynamic, exciting player.
Reed stretches it back to 20. Of course, before that, Brad Korn's program, long before he was the head coach, they were in Division II, national runner-up a couple of times. And he's 22 years later now, trying to get him back to the NCAA tournament, playing as the 4 seed. Murray State would be next if they were to win it. Here's Johnson, attacked hard, crashed hard. SEMO in on the help side. Nana Kenton, a couple of times we've seen him recover fast tonight. There's Russell on the take, and Nicholas dodged it. And out of bounds, staying with the Red Hawks. Got that hesitation ingrained in my mind from Nicholas still.
Yeah, that was a excellent hezi. That deserved the oopsie doops.
There's Reed, splashing one in from outside.
Reed is playing like the first team all-conference player that he is, not forcing anything, being very efficient, playing excellent defense.
And Fitzgerald the miss. SEMO biggest lead of the game after they started this game 13-0. Led the entire time, and Russell turns it over.
In the game for Tennessee State, number 11, Kassim Nicholson.
Here we see Nicholas coming off the dribble. You can't leave a player like that wide open. He's already in rhythm. Rhythm 3 is exactly what you're looking for. Philip Russell on the bench with foul trouble, still enjoying himself, getting his team and his bench excited. If you'd have told me at this point in the game that Philip Russell may not have scored, I would have told you that SEMO would be in bad shape. Here they are up 23. SEMO showing the versatility and and how good they are playing as a team to be able to put up these amount of points with one of your best scorers. Your second leading scorer, I believe, is scoreless right now.
Do you know how to gritty, by the way?
No.
No?
No. I think I stopped learning how to do that when I was about 35 years old.
You stopped at the Dougie? No, foul down after the Fitzgerald basket for Tennessee State. Reed gets fouled. Cooper got him. We've seen the scoring ability a couple years now for Eric Reed in this league. Talking to Brad Korn the other day, we asked, who's your toughest guy? And he immediately, nonstop, deadpan, he said, me, Connor. Silly question. I'm our toughest guy. He said, no, I'm just kidding. It's Eric Reed. It's Eric Reed. He's got a little finesse to him, obviously, but tough guy for SEMO. Giving him 16 a night. And another one for Eric Reed.
On cue. And he's talking to the TSU bench. I don't know exactly what they said that has him upset, but they probably need to quit messing with that kid.
He's got a quick 19 in this game. 4 of them from outside. Fitzgerald, quick trigger. Rebound, Southeast Missouri State. Reed's coming up with it again. Motivated by that Tennessee State bench. Wants another one. Got it deflected. Looking for a foul. Nicholson got a hand on it.
I thought he did get smacked on the wrist on that one.
No, Reed takes it right back from Nicholson. Here's Nicholas. There's that spot that he got him shaken before. Russell. He's hit from there a couple of times tonight. Back down to Tennessee State. Boyd off a jab. Can't get his outside shot going yet. He tried to take it to the mid. Not there either.
You know, for Tennessee State, how many times have they driven to the basket and gotten the ball dislodged and gotten it poked away? Or maybe they did get their arm hit, but trying to make it 27 with this man of the hour, Mr. Patterson at the free throw line.
Less fiber.
In the game for Southeast Missouri,
respond to the runs. Here's Patterson coming out of the game after in addition to his double-double. 19 points, 10 rebounds for Manny Patterson. Fitzgerald slicing in. Man, everything's been working for him. All 3 levels tonight, but he's been all alone. 19 points for him. The rest of the guys right around 5 for 4 points. That's been the best around him.
The next highest is Kenny Cooper with 5. Got a couple guys with 4, guys with 2. It's been the Marcus Fitzgerald show. It just hasn't been enough.
Dedrick Boyd trying to give him some help. Little shake, and Thompson was in there to bat it away. Here's Russell out into the front court, and Thompson following, and he's fouled. So Sam Thompson got the deflection to get it back. Now he gets to shoot 2.
44, David Acosta, that is his 3rd, team 5th.
You know, it makes you wonder, like, what happened between yesterday and today? I do think at the beginning of the game, the 3 early threes, like we said, got punched in the mouth, but that's happened before. I also think that SEMO did a heck of a job with their scout, and they took away Tennessee State's initial go-to plays that they were hoping to get some buckets and get their rhythm going. But still after that, how do you have this much of a drop-off in energy from yesterday to today? You know, maybe I understand, you know, when you have bowl games and they're playing in the Orange Bowl, you're like, hey, maybe the guys spend a night out in Miami. We're not in Miami, we're in Evansville. The guys probably stayed the night in the hotel. At least you would think. What was the difference to where they came out this flat in the conference tournament when you have the opportunity to go to the NCAA tournament?
Oh, you think about the last weekend of the regular season, it was kind of like this for Tennessee State. They won a game by 36 against Tennessee Tech, and then they lost a game by 20 to Belmont.
True, but Belmont is no slouch, but neither is SEMO either. But yeah, I mean, I think you got to be very disappointed if you're Coach Collins and all the seniors out there that this is not how you want to go out. You can lose a game, but to lose, getting bullied, and to be getting almost 30 ball That's not how you want to go out your last collegiate game.
Carlos Marshall hasn't been able to spring free. Acosta hanging up on the rim, and he gets hit. It's been a part of it, though. Remember, 4 double figures in scoring last night. It's been just Fitzgerald, so the balance has been gone too.
Yeah, they had multiple players in double figures. I still like to see that, though. Right now, you know, if you're an underclassman, if you're an assistant coach, you're still building culture. Every time you're out there on the court, you're building culture, whether it's for this year or next year. You're still teaching yourselves how do you compete to win a championship. Obviously, it's not going to happen this year, but what do you learn your freshman, sophomore, junior year to where it can possibly happen your senior year? So right now, they're down 26. How do you deal with this adversity? How do you finish this game? You know, do you quit? Do you start pointing fingers? Or do you continue to play your butts off and hopefully make this score reasonable? You know, that's what I would hope to see out of this Tennessee State team right now.
Well, if you're talking about building and looking forward, the good news is your best player tonight has been a guy that's a first-year player, Sam Thompson, going reverse. SEMO getting good minutes from him here. And Marshall back with the 3. That's what they're missing from him in the first half. And 2 for 9 night for Marshall. And got his first 3 finally, and Thompson's up ahead again.
But that was, on the other end, that was the first 3 of the game for the entire Tennessee State squad. Unfortunately, they came down and just gave up a wide-open, uncontested dunk.
Number 25, Nigel Russell, that is his 4th, team 4th.
Yeah, no one's back at all. You know, everybody's got their hands out. No one knows what's going on. This is where you need to pull it together. But Marcus Fitzgerald, he's still competing out there. Came right back at him at the free throw line trying to get the 3-point play.
Tennessee State, Marcus Fitzgerald for 1 shot.
Fitzgerald, ooh, he's one of the best free throw shooters in the OVC. Swirls it out. And second in the conference, shooting at 86%. There's Branson rolling down.
Big shot there by Dylan Branson. You know, when you do the things that he does, the glue guy, I call him glue guys. You know, he gets loose balls. He creates shots for others. He executes the scout well. Although he's not going to score a lot, you get the lucky bounces when you do things the right way.
Hasn't shot it well this year, but Branson in his career has shown that he is a good outside shooter at times. Been down a little bit lately. Same spot here, and sideline with the heel for Branson. Last year, he was doing a lot of this low volume but high efficiency from 3. Just 23% this year, but that's a percentage raiser. 3 touches on the rim and down for Dylan Branson.
Replacing number 3, Eric Reed.
He had a couple games last year, remember, for SEMO, watching him, where 2 for 2, 3 for 3, sometimes 4 for 4 from 3. Hasn't had the same touch quite this year, but everybody making tonight for the Red Hawks.
You know, I was notified that I was getting some hate tweets because I was about Dylan Branson's vertical. Well, the truth is the truth. The kid is not athletic, but I love basketball IQ. Sometimes people overvalue athleticism in this game, but if you have high IQ and you have toughness and you know how to execute the scout and you're unselfish and you do the things you need to do for your teammates, you can still earn a Division I scholarship. So by no means was it any shade, but sometimes the truth is the truth. But he's out there doing what he has to do, and it's making his team better.
And what you said was 90% positive, by the way. Here's a Kenton unloading on the rim. What do you got on that, Bert?
enough to put some punishment on that rim.
Here's Fitzgerald, pull up pop, and it's short. And there comes Nick Lent. And still alive, you got the last 4 champions. Murray State gets the winner of this one. Belmont and Morehead State could play in the semifinals if the Eagles win it tonight.
Yeah, there's some pros in the Ohio Valley. You know, we saw one of the Atlanta Hawk scouts here before the game finding his seat.
Nasty pass from Russell. No finish for Kenton, though. I saw Teague in the house.
Yeah. So There's some good basketball. And normally at a 4 or 5 seed or an NCAA tournament, the 8-9 game, it would be very competitive. This is abnormal, but there's still some very, very good teams, obviously with Murray State, and some very good individual players for fans to tune into here for the remainder of this Ohio Valley tournament.
Well, Boyd still low for tonight. You'll have stars all over the court in that next game. You mentioned Junior Clay and Davidson, Cooper and Broom lead Morehead State. Looking for the repeat this year. And off window, up and down for DQ Nicholas. And Nicholas again, he's come a long way from being just a slasher, but shows you that. A lot too, going off the window. Out of Atlanta, Georgia, prepped in Pennsylvania. Went to Scotland prep before he went to SEMO. Finished second in the country before he got to the Red Hawks. And through the back door, it's Johnson. We were talking about pros. DQ Nicholas played against James Bouknight, played at UConn, went on pro. And that was DQ Nicholas's breakthrough game. Got him on a lot of radars with the colleges. Ended up at SEMO. He got 3 seconds on Branson, camped out in there. Yeah, the UConn star, James Bouknight, went on obviously to be a lottery pick with the Hornets, and DQ Nicholas played with them. So you talk about pros in the OVC. That's a guy that's locked up a pro. Yeah,
like I said, OVCs, oftentimes people forget how many pros this conference has produced. A lot of athletes, a lot of talent. And this year is no different.
20, Sam Thompson, that's his second. Team 6.
What about Tennessee State? Robert Covington.
Exactly right.
Routed from Chicago to Tennessee State to the NBA.
The most exciting player in the NBA right now, Mr. Ja Morant.
Play behind the backboard he had the other night at the end of the clock.
Whew. They said he just had the most watched Instagram post, NBA Instagram post in NBA history. That's how
I get it.
Viral he is right now. Like he's in everybody's mind and everybody's watch list right now.
I know this goes without saying, but man, the 2019 tournament was one of the most fun basketball events that I've been to in person here at the Ford Center. Dylan Windler went on and got drafted by the Cavs, was playing for Belmont. Ja Morant for Murray State, played in the championship game. This place was sold out. Magic Johnson was here. Larry Fitzgerald was here. You had celebs all over the place. It was rocking. And of course, Morant and Murray won it. And pulled the Dwayne Wade, got up on the scores table right across from where we are right now. And huge sea of yellow Murray State shirts celebrating with that night.
Yeah, it was awesome. And I think that's when the Ohio Valley Conference really realized, like, hey, we got something good here in Evansville. You know, we're right centrally located. This city loves basketball. I played here. So, you know, to put it in perspective, University of Evansville has 2,500 students. I played in Robert Stadium that used to seat 12,000. My senior year, we averaged 11,000 fans with only a 2,500 population of enrollment of my university. So the city itself loves basketball. And so when you bring good basketball here, like the Ohio Valley Conference does, they're embraced. The city rolls out the red carpet. I see Mayor Wienecke up in the crowd right now. The mayor's here to watch this game. So the city loves the Ohio Valley Conference, and they're happy it's here, and I'm happy it's here.
That's the fun part about this week. You build and you build. The crowds build, obviously the stakes build. And Belmont and Murray, their fan bases travel really well. So they're already into the semifinals. Friday and Saturday, it is going to be bumping in here. Joe Hall up ahead and over the top. Nice catch and finish for Johnson.
Johnson hasn't had the type of night he had last night, but you saw a glimpse of his athleticism right there. He is the most athletic player on the court. When he dunks, his head is near the rim.
You remember it. We'll remember that first round dunk show that he put on, even though his team's bowing out tonight.
Wow.
We got a double foul called.
It really should just be a foul on Thompson. I mean, Thompson just threw him out of the way. Okay, if you're going to call a foul on Fitzgerald right there, but
Sam Thompson for Southeast Missouri, that's his 4. Number 1, Marcus Fitzgerald for Tennessee State. That's his third.
It's like when you're sitting in the car. I don't know if you ever did this as a kid. Just leaning and rocking, just letting your body take you wherever it takes. So that's what Fitzgerald was just doing. It was dizzying.
He's just out here having fun. He knows the season is over and just trying to have fun with it, I guess.
Fitzgerald's had the big night again, but he's been all alone. 21 points. Lob for a Kenton. Oh, that would have been top of the square. Up on the backboard. Got high, but not that high.
Did you see where his head was at? I mean, I know that was a missed dunk, but goodness gracious, it was almost like he almost hit his head on the rim. I knew he had hops. I didn't know he had those type of hops.
Kenton had the big flush before. Let's see if they go back to him. Pick and roll situation here with Russell. I'm spreading it out, getting Thompson up there, and Russer, no sir guy. And kind of hit a little bit of a JUCO wall last year, but stayed with it. Brad Korn talked about still getting extra shots, all that stuff that you hear about hardworking players. But this has been his time of year. Last year, January, tough month for him. February turned it into doubling up his scoring. He's done that again. Late February, early March.
You know, when you talk to very good coaches and how they define toughness is different than how bad players define toughness. Bad players think toughness is I'm going to get in your face, I'm going to do a lot of woofing, I'm going to do a lot of talking, I'm going to push. Toughness is being able to execute the scout. Toughness is being able to execute things while you're tired. Toughness is at the end of the season when your body hurts and you could quit and you're still paying attention to detail. When you talk about toughness, and Coach Korn said he's the toughest player on the court, you see how he's been executing the scout. He has 0 turnovers, taking care of the ball.
Now that's the key word, toughest guy on the court
because of those things.
But according to Brad Korn, the toughest guy is in the coaching box. And he gave us that deadpan, toughest guy, it's me. He was kidding, of course. That was tongue-in-cheek all the way. Good line from him, though. Chris Harris is calling for the camera, isn't he? Yeah, he is. Stuff you can do when you're up 22.
Yep.
So SEMO headed back, first time since 2005. They'll get Murray State. They just played the Racers, lost by 2 in the final game of the regular season. And leaner for Nicholas, no. And here comes Fitzgerald back the other way, already with 21 points in his bag tonight. Into Boyd, back and Nicholas in. And finally got one to go. Dedrick Boyd.
You know, you talk about that Murray State game, the last game of the season. I don't know if people realize, you know, Murray State was going for the undefeated conference season, which they achieved. 6 minutes to go in that game. You know what the score was? SEMO was up 62-50. It looked like they were going to spoil the season. Murray State showed an incredible amount of toughness and pulled it out at the end. And we keep talking about toughness, and I think he has a mic in his ear and said, yo, that's me, guys, because just keep talking about me. But, yeah, Murray State was on the ropes. So for those that think that Murray State is just going to go, you know, just fly through this tournament, SEMO just gave them all they could handle the last game of the year. Was up 12 with 6 minutes to go and was only able to win by 2.
Nana Kenton got Russell down to the ground, and Kenton punched it out of there, but will be a foul on Russell in the restricted area. You know, KJ Williams, Tevin Brown, they're going to get a lot of attention. They have the last 3-4 years. When you play Murray State, if you're SEMO tomorrow, heels on the restricted arc there. But you better stop Trey Hannibal if you're SEMO tomorrow. He went for the huge night in the regular season finale, the 2-point win for Murray State.
Yeah, you know, Murray State has a lot of options out there. You know, their stars get a lot of the attention, but they're a well-coached team. We keep using the word tough. They're extremely tough. They're physically strong. They have guys, multiple guys. You don't go 28-2. You don't go undefeated in the conference without having unexpected stars step up in different moments. And Murray State has had that all year. But as you see the way the SEMO's playing, they're up for the challenge.
3 down for Philip Russell.
His first points of the game. With 1:40 to go, his first points of the game.
Guy that gives you 14 a night.
Exactly.
And Simo's still done this. And so, talking about what's to come for Simo. Remember, Murray came here last year. They were in the 4-5 game in the first round. A frustrating season, obviously. Frustrating for a fan base that travels really well. That they couldn't be here in full force. Bowed out in the first round, but got back on top real quick at a 28-2 record overall, and headed to the NCAA tournament one way or another. Simo would like to help out the league, get some shares, and maybe upset him. Go on to the championship game on Saturday and be the rep, getting the first AQ. There's Joe Hall, and then slides down, and Russell's got the rebound with a minute to go.
1 minute.
So Simo headed to the semis, first time since 2005. Well, last time they played in the semifinals, they played Eastern Kentucky. That was when Simo was a 6 seed. Lost that game to Eastern Kentucky again. Last championship was 2000. That's what Simo's hunting here this week. 2 to shoot for Branson, and just had to toss it up as he was down on the ground. And maybe one last one here for Tennessee State. Bartholomew going inside, no. And Simo can dribble it out on their way to the semifinals.
Impressive showing here by Simo. Came out, like we said, punched Tennessee State in the mouth. Tennessee State never responded. And Simo kept their foot on the gas, which is what they need to do. They need to continue building continuity.
Well, for the first time under Brad Korn, Simo came here expecting to win a game.